YNW Melly was on the verge of being released from prison with all of his charges dropped. However, YNW Bortlen just made the craziest mistake of all time. It all begins when it was announced this week that YNW Bortlen was arrested for witness tampering charges. As while his house was being raided by the feds, they would find insane paperwork against Bortlen and Melly.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law&Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with the witness.
As it would be announced by Bryson Paul, here are the images of the alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortlen's home last week, filed into the Broward clerks by the state. Alongside these photos, a Bortlen detailing where certain jurors were sitting with a description of what they looked like. To understand how serious this is, here is DJ Akademiks' reaction to this.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Like, god damn. Holy sh. You know what I mean? Like, brother, like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
As this is now going to ruin all of the progress by YNW Melly and his lawyers that they have made this week. Lawyers even stated that Melly's chances of release were extremely high, as it was also announced. Breaking news, YNW Melly's prosecutor, Christine Bradley, has been removed from the YNW Melly retrial following an order granted and signed by Judge Murphy on Thursday, as explained here.
I'm not a lawyer, but Bryson Boom Paul just tweeted that the prosecutor, Christine Bradley, has officially been removed from the YNW Melly case. That means she will not be the lead prosecutor for the retrial of YNW Melly. The news came from the Sun Sentinel, and it says that while Christine Bradley has been removed, the elected state attorney and 2 key deputies cannot be called to testify. Remember, Melly's attorneys were trying to get 7 of the state attorneys to testify, and this ruling is basically the judge saying no to at least one of those.
However, YNW Bortlen just ruined all chances he had of even being released, as it seemed as if Christine Bradley already believed she was going to be getting removed from this trial, as earlier this week when she was caught committing crimes in Melly's case, she didn't even show up to court to face the judge about it, which made him extremely angry inside of court.
Typically, what I do when I have a braid or some issue about it, the prosecutor who's involved in it tells me, she comes in here, she's got an obligation of candor to the court, and I ask her a question and she advises me as to what's going on and why there's a change, why something like that. But she's not here. This is her case. We spent 2-3 months trying the case originally. It came to a jury, but she's not here for this. I don't understand that.
As this is the exact same court hearing where the judge also outlined all of the crimes committed by prosecutors in the state attorney's office against YNW Melly.
You indicated here that counsel for the defendant believes that there is probable cause that the witnesses under subpoena, the members of the state attorney's office and the elected state attorney to have committed obstruction of justice and attempted witness tampering and felony pursuant to FS 838.022 for misuse of public office due to their actions since October of 2020.
That's what it says, John.
That's right. Very serious allegation.
Very serious allegation.
very serious.
As now with the lead prosecutor, Christine Bradley, removed from the Melly trial, as well as the judge extremely angry at the state attorney's office and Christine Bradley, YNW Melly's team would then submit paperwork to have the entire case canceled, which will be getting heard on this Friday.
Jury selection for Melly's retrial will not begin on Monday, October 9th, like originally scheduled. Instead, next week, the judge said they will argue the state's motion to quash defense subpoenas of several prosecutors, including the elected state attorney. The defense motion to dismiss the case altogether will be heard next Friday on October 13th.
The fact that the judge even gave Melly a court hearing to discuss case cancellation with his current charges that are against him is extremely rare, which obviously would be a perfect time to try to have the case canceled. However, with YNW Bortlen's recent actions, we will be finding out on Tuesday whether or not that Friday court hearing for case cancellation will be getting canceled or not. However, a very interesting part was when this lady would take the stand. Working for law departments, she would reveal everything about how Mark Moretti lied and what he did to YNW Melly's mother, Jamie King.
Detective Moretti said to Deputy Morrell, "You need to say you were here when I served that search warrant." And it was kind of like an awkward moment. Someone described it just kind of getting twice in the head. So there's a search warrant that gets served, and I'm like, what's going on? And then the next thing, he's asking this deputy to lie for him. And again, I'm like, this isn't, like, I'm in the twilight, so I'm like, this can't really be happening.
Further proving on how well Melly's lawyers were doing, we would even see YNW Juvie's father do an emergency interview with Law&Crime just 2 days ago, sharing that this new case dismissal situation is truly affecting him and his family.
All of this legal wrangling that's leading to a delay in the second trial, how are you?
I'm taking it one day at a time. You know, you got to go through this process once again. Gotta relive it once again.
As next, Juvie's father would then expose how YNW Melly and Bortlen were witness tampering in another way, as the original witness tampering was with the jury papers that Bortlen drew up himself. However, he also witness tampered using code words to make YNW Melly's ex-girlfriend not testify during trial.
Both Melly, Jamel Demons, YNW Melly, and Cortland Henry, who is known as YNW Bortlen, are now charged with witness tampering. It sounds like the prosecutors are saying there was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person, and then that person.
Like to me, they're going through extreme measures to try to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom.
However, it's then when YNW Juvie's father would then share what happened on the morning of the crime. His moments of waking up out of bed, receiving the phone call, and then driving down to the law enforcement office to clarify that it was YNW Juvie. As when arriving to the police station, Jamie King would tag along and then tell the father something weird.
He wasn't, he had switched vehicles. At least that's what they said in the first trial, that he had gotten into, it was suggested through a defense witness, the one and only defense witness, that he had gotten into that other vehicle.
Yeah, they was telling me that. I drove down there that morning to go identify Chris. I met Moretti down there that morning, other 26. And on the way down there, when I talked to Jamie, she told me the same thing. Like, don't talk to the media and tell them Melly wasn't there. Instantly, my antennas went up that I didn't understand. Like, I knew from that day, I knew something was up.
As Juvie's father is dropping insane evidence that we have never even heard before, as then he would share what his last moments were with Christopher, aka YNW Juvie, his son.
Last time I spoke to Chris was like 2 days before the incident. Him and Melly FaceTimed me, and that's the last time I saw him. Last time I spoke to him was like that same week, man. It just hurt me to see that the love that he had for Melly to do that to him. I see if it was one of his enemies or somebody, he did something wrong or something, but the way it happened, how it happened, who did it, it just, heartbreaking on both sides.
as sources would label this an extremely important interview due to Melly and his lawyers destroying the prosecution in his retrial. However, it's all ruined now thanks to YNW Bortlen. So with YNW Melly and Bortlen now having these new witness tampering charges together, the judge could now see it as an easier way to try them together in the upcoming retrial. To understand how terrible this is, we first need to listen to this lawyer explain
issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It's just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
As many sources are already believing that them getting tried together will be the already situation. As if YNW Melly and Bortlen are being tried together, it would then make a lot of sense as to why YNW Melly fired his original lawyer of David Howard. David Howard, during Melly's original trial, was trying to put all of the evidence against YNW Bortlen. Bortlen did not appreciate what he was doing at all. An example of this was 15 minutes into day 1 of the Melly trial. David Howard would announce this about Bortlen.
Demon's lies, those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with 2 bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone.
As that is YNW Melly's own ex-lawyer revealing that it was all YNW Bortlen telling the lies, he was the one with powder residue on his hands, and that he was the last one with juvie and sack chaser. He even went as far as to bringing a forensic scientist that covered the passings to go into further detail on Bortlen having the powder residue on his hands.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of powder residue and 2 two-component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of powder residue and 1 two-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was powder residue present on the hands.
If the two are going to be getting tried together, YNW Bortlen does probably not want to be anywhere near David A. Howard, resulting in him likely being fired. As backing up that statement, when the YNW Melly mistrial was granted, YNW Bortlen would tweet a mysterious message only 10 minutes later, where he would tweet, and I quote, "Mind games don't work on people like me," alongside a handshake emoji as if he's accepting some sort of deal. So them being tried together will be extremely interesting, especially when you look into why YNW Melly was truly denied his bail this week, as it all began with YNW Juvie's mother telling the judge why YNW Melly should not receive a bond out of jail until his retrial is over.
Ms. Phillips, you were the mother of Christopher Thomas?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are your thoughts or opinion on Jamel Demons receiving a bond in the of your son?
I don't think he should receive a bond, but I do know that he's innocent until proven guilty. But these are some serious accusations against him. So, and I understand he has money and don't want anything, nothing to happen to me or my family. So I don't think that he should be granted a bond at all.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips.
As it is hard to hear what she said, but she stated, "I do not think he should receive a bond. I do know that he is innocent until proven guilty. However, there are serious accusations against him and he has money. I don't want anything to happen to me or my family. I don't think he should receive a bond at all." Which made many wonder, why would YNW Melly want to do anything to Juvie's family? Now, if you remember what these witnesses and family members of Juvie did to Melly's mother during trial, you would think otherwise, and likely why he would want revenge. As when YNW Juvie's sister reached out to Jamie King on social media.
What's been going on in the courtroom?
Well, Anjanette, it's been a very interesting morning. It did start off earlier with the defense bringing up an issue. Apparently, Juvie's sister posted on, I guess, one of the social media outlets, and she said that she was going to Jamie King. And so that caused a big, issue in the courtroom. It wasn't anything that we got on tape, but it did happen this morning. It was on the record, and she has a bodyguard now. So that was one of the first issues that the court dealt with this morning. And it was interesting because the judge did basically say, if you needed more security, I can get it for you. Ultimately, it was determined that the security she had, the bodyguard, was going to be enough. So
now, shout out to Reddit, because we had to do some digging to find the sister. Now, this is the sister, Ashley Monique. And let me show you the post that she had posted on Facebook, because, honey, it was quite the stir. So she posted this screenshot from Jamie King, YNW Melly's mother, and she said, "Pest control, who called about?" Now, that was in regards to a post made by Trayvon Glass on his Instagram page, where he basically said that he's not worried about anything, and if he's come him. So in a nutshell, Melly's mom is calling Trayvon Glass a, and Monique replied back and says, "A is when you do something wrong and not take responsibility and then go and set somebody up because you're scared to lay down." She goes on to say, "That's not the case here. Fetty was Juvie's friend, not Melly. He was only around because Juvie brought him." Now in the comments, somebody says she better find something safe to do. Another person replied back and says, "Very well said." Another person tagged Jamie, and somebody else said, "Come get." Now, Ashley was in the comments and says, "She even has a bodyguard, child." Another person replied and says, "Yeah, she need one because she's talking like she's 200 pounds and she ain't even pushing 100. Now, somebody else posted this and says, "She's going to need them because she in the wrong city talking." Now, I think that when Melly's defense attorneys found this, they submitted it over to the judge and basically was like, Juvie's sister's out here Melly's mom. Now, the judge did state that if Melly's mom needed security, he would issue her security, and then he found out that she had a bodyguard, and that would be sufficient enough.
As YNW Melly would then be seen in court the next day, asking his mother if she's okay.
Sorry.
It would get so serious that even Boosie would share how bad of a situation this was for YNW Melly's mother.
Okay, so
then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. She real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a.
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.